Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So let's talk about Chanel and Paulina. I'm very torn about this decision because, well, long story short, they're free. They're free. Charges are dropped. They're not getting extradited or anything like that. It's over. It's over. It's done. Bella batted for them. And even went to like the UK or whatever, and she got the charges dismissed. And this way, they won't even be pulled over there to face any sort of charges over there. But it's because on one hand, I'm very grateful. I've seen this in other soap operas and other shows where it's like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, particularly with soap operas, where they just go to this long, drawn out battle, court case, and you're on pins and needles for the most part, wondering if this person's going to go to jail, if they're going to go free. But this show decided we're just going to skip all that and we're just going right to the heart of the matter. So I appreciate that. Didn't drag out as far as a lengthy court battle. But I guess in some ways this does kind of bother me. No, I don't think that Chanel should have went to jail. What happened was an accident, and there's really no way to prove otherwise. And besides, she didn't go out there and try to kill the mother. She's not responsible for Sloane's dad drinking himself to death. That was on him. But maybe I'm just a little kind of upset the fact that after the whole thing happened, it seemed like there was. I don't want to sit there and say there was little to no remorse because we didn't see that stuff, but we did sit there and hear about her escapades of her partying up in London and stuff like that. Like people are dead and she's just kind of living her best life. But Paulina, nothing happened to her. She used her money and her influence to make whatever happened went away. And now she's just free as a bird. Like nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no sort of consequences on her part. And that just bothers me. That generally bothers me. Because all that basically says is that as long as you have money and status and power, you can get away with almost anything that you want. Sloane finds out about this, and of course she's pissed. She's with Eric, and she's like, "Yo, listen, I gotta go." And um, she gets down to Alan Snell's place, and she's like, "Well, just because you got off scot free doesn't mean that you're gonna get away with this." And then she proceeds to walk on in. I was like, did she just walk in her house like they invited her in? Like what? Did I miss something? Um, so I thought I was just like, wow, that's pretty brazen of you just to walk in her house. Like I trust me, I get it. She's upset with Chanel, even though that's not totally on her, and she's upset with Paulina. I'm like, boo, what are you doing? Now Paulina did step down so this way Abe can keep his job. But let's be honest, there was no way that this show that those characters was going to work otherwise. But Paulina wouldn't have been on the show really. She would have been state capital and everywhere else and doing her thing or whatever, and Abe would have joined them. So you wouldn't have saw those two characters if she didn't step down. So her stepping down was just like, yeah, let's not sit there and act like we didn't see that coming. Because we all did. As much as I like Kristen, it's very difficult to root for her. It's very difficult to root for her because, well, she tends to use her little girl to manipulate her daughter into getting closer to Brady. And I'm like, there's just something about that that's just, well, disgusting. It's not even so much pathetic at this point. It's literally disgusting. Rachel comes in there because they're arguing about the orchid. Rachel's like, well, I want my parents to get back together. And Kristen's like, well, you heard our daughter. What do you think of that? I'm like, you really just put him on the spot with your daughter? With your daughter? Like, is there a level that you just won't sink to? I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a bad chick. I really do. When you start involving children into your scheme, that's where it just crosses the line for me. Eric comes over and he's all like, oh, well, we gotta sit there and find a way to get that back this orchid, and the best way to do that is to kidnap your daughter. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are we what are we doing? How about Brady just sucks it up and deal with Kristen until they can get the orchid and they can be good. They can get the second dose and that could just be that. I don't get that. I don't understand. And the sad thing is that Eric is going to convince Brady that this is a good idea. I'm like, why at this point? Y'all been together for a while. Why can't you just not just deal with it? Why would he even, and the sad thing is like, why are you even going to entertain that idea? Why? I want to know why. It seems so over the top and so unnecessary at this point. In the beginning, I would have been like, okay, I mean, granted, I don't like this idea, but this is in the beginning stages of it, so whatever. Now I'm just like, I mean, I still probably would have been okay with it because you're involving a child, but I'm like, Brady, you already been dealing with Christian shenanigans for a while. Why don't you just man up and just deal with it, I mean, at one point you're in love with this woman, even though she stabbed your grandfather in the heart with a knife. Yeah, let's just all sit there and just take a nice little memory lane back into when that happened, and he actually sided with her. Wanted revenge. Was going to sit there and take down the company from the inside. Yep, that's our Brady, for better or worse. That is our Brady. Marlena and John didn't really do too much of anything today. I mean, if there's anything positive to say about those two is that, well, you could be over 60 and still want to get it on. So, there's that. That's about it. That's literally what I have to say about that. They just sat there in bed, and that was about it. Eric and Nicole, I feel like they're getting closer. I mean, no, EJ and Nicole, I feel like they're getting closer. And I already saw the previews, and they seem like they get much closer, so. And they were married for a while. She did have a thing for him for whatever reason. I mean, obviously besides his looks and stuff like that. And I know that EJ and Sammy were a thing, and Sammy and Nicole are rivals, and I wonder how this actually work now. I mean, I will sit there and say this: the writing is very smart because she could have just came in as a one-dimensional character or just being Sammy's rival, but she's been on the show for a while. And Sammy hasn't been there, and yet she's still thriving as a great character. I do say a great character. Yeah, she gets my nerves because she does some things that are just like, what in the hell is wrong with you? But she makes it so interesting, so I can't sit there and complain. I mean, I can call her a bunch of names, but I can't sit there and complain. Especially when I was sitting there listening to that recording of Sister, whatever her name is, that is on a plane far, far, far away. And I'm so glad that running joke is over because I couldn't deal with it. But they had a good laugh, so that was fun. This was a decent episode. It was. I can't really think of anything else that happened. I think they're probably slowing down a little bit because it's the holiday time, so they're probably going to do, Friday's probably just going to be like one crazy episode before the weekend. So, like I said, it wasn't really a terrible episode. It was kind of in the middle ground. So with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, I'm going to be on tonight, and Oh, well, I'm going to be on live stream. So I'm going to be live streaming tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I may or may not actually have a special guest that's going to be joining me. So, you're free around that time, definitely stop by. We have a lot of fun. Um, Usually when I have somebody with me, I don't sit there and interact with the chat that much, but I will sit there and always try to do my best. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.